Hello, everyone. So I just finished watching Disney Plus's newest original film, Turning Red. This just came out today, and yeah, it says it's about an hour and 15 minutes long if you boot it up on Disney Plus, but it's only actually about an hour and a half long because there's about 20 minutes of after credits in this. So it's pretty easy to watch and get through, and it moves pretty dang fast. But it is directed by Dami Shi, and it has a decently impressive voice cast. The most notable names would be Sandra Oh, you have James Hong in this as well, and Rosalie Xiang, who plays Mei Lin, the main character in this film. So without further ado, I'm going to get into my review for Turning Red on Disney+. So let's get into it. So Turning Red is about a 13-year-old girl named Mei Lin. Her and her family live in Toronto, and they run a temple dedicated not to any god, but to basically just figures of their family, and most notably one who worshipped a panda god. There's a little more history there, but I actually found that with this film, it's really tough for me to get into it and not spoil it. A lot of basically just the chunks worth talking about in this film come in the second half, and a lot of them are just, if I talk about it, it's so spoilery. So I'm gonna try my very best to do no spoilers. If anything comes into my head that I kind of need to talk about, I will give a warning. But yeah, this should be absolutely spoiler free. But basically, through her family's worship, she starts turning into a giant red panda whenever she gets. The film calls it too excited, but basically, when her nerves or any emotion gets too heightened, whether it be fear, anger, excitement, she starts to transform into a giant red panda, and of course that can cause some destruction just because she's of course not used to being that size or having that power, being that strong, the typical things like that. So she basically has to deal with being in a very judgmental middle school, basically trying to create a bond with her friends so they can go to a concert, raise money so all four of them can go, while she has a very strict mother who's watching her every single move and basically trying to make certain that she doesn't turn into this panda. She wants her to be perfect in so many ways, as you kind of get to find out that she never was able to be when she was younger. She doesn't want her daughter to make the same mistakes that she made. So there is a very good kind of family relationship, also to the parents don't understand, kids don't understand, there's so much for them to learn yet kind of aspect of this that they bounce back and forth, and there's a lot of good points that are made from both perspectives, of course. Also too, using your power to do good deeds, bad things. She's told that every time she transforms into the panda, it's going to be harder for her to not turn into the panda again. Almost think of it like the Hulk and Bruce Banner's relationship that you see in the early Avengers movies. That's kind of the same aspect that the mother tries to teach her daughter Malin in this movie. But yeah, I found the first half of this film does move very, very, I don't know. It's just the pacing was a little bit off. I don't want to say that it's slow or anything like that. It just kind of was rushing to a lot of things and kind of bouncing in between plot lines of being a girl growing up to now being a panda. That I wish they would have spent a little more time talking about the history and showing the powers that this panda being could have. I found the cool little things that she was able to do were awesome and very visually pleasing, like this entire film is. The animation is stellar. It's very, very well done. But a lot of times I just felt like there was a lot of backstory missing in this, and two, just kind of story about, again, this is, so no spoilers, but just kind of in terms of the history of the panda and how it's kind of affected her family throughout the generations of their ancestors that worshipped it. I really wish that they would have explored that a little bit more, and I felt like they could have been a lot more hashing out and understanding that could have been done within the characters, a lot more growth through that as well if they would have spent just a little more time talking about the history. If this movie was about 15 minutes longer, I feel like it really would have benefited it if it went closer to like the hour and 45 minutes actual runtime for the movie, not just including the credits. And just to a lot of the arguments that they make are the very typical, like, again, as I was saying, my parents don't understand or my daughter doesn't understand all these words, and they just hash it out in ways that have been done so many times before. And I wish that there would have been a little bit more, just, what I'm trying to say is Pixar and Disney have tackled subjects a lot better, and especially kind of this subject too in even movies like Inside Out. They've tackled this subject a lot better before, and they just got a lot more into it before as well. And I feel like this movie really would have benefited of just a bit of a longer runtime, and of course, too, just hashing things out a little bit more, going a lot more into the subject matter that it was going to, a lot more into the themes that it was trying to go into. I just felt like there was a chunk of this movie and its soul kind of missing, but it's still a very, very entertaining movie. Definitely more geared towards the kids side, but it's a fun movie. It's really entertaining and something that I definitely will watch again. I did have a lot of fun watching it. It's a treat, and of course, too, that underlying message that it has in it is something that I find very important. And this movie will definitely teach kids that in the most basic of ways, just kind of what it's going for in a way that I think is going to be effective for that audience. And I did find the jokes in this are actually pretty funny. There's just some, of course, I really like, oh my god, like you can see your friends or like people you knew when you were younger, or if you are younger yourself, you're gonna see a lot of your friends in this movie, and it's definitely something to laugh at. It's there are good jokes in this. It is fun. It is heart touching in points, but again, I just feel like there was a decent chunk of just the premise and the purpose of this movie missing from it. And with all this taken together, that's what I'm going to have to give Turning Red a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like this definitely could have easily been in like 8.5, close to a 9, if there was just a little bit more in terms of the story, the messages it was trying to convey. But I still highly recommend it. Beautiful animation and a fun film to watch and easily get through this weekend. So if you've seen Turning Red, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. If you like this review, of course, give it a thumbs up. And you can check out all my other reviews and everything I do on the channel through my playlist down below, and I'll link some up top here. Subscribe to my little ring around if you want to know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out everything I do live stream and Twitch wise, there's a link to that in the description of this video, and of course my channel bio. In both of those places, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than it is already, and just awesome, guys.